Hey, this is real, guys. How this guy had a genius or something about him, about the future, about certain couples like Ayesha Curry and Steph Curry. What he said back then is happening. We can see it playing out right now. And I was speaking on the thing on like a couple weeks ago that was big on how she was dissing him and everything in the public. And so it's coming to be true. And let's watch this because he's gonna break some points down that I can relate to me being uh, live in the life about 20 some years ago. Uh, Learn how things move. But we'll talk about it alone in this video. It's a short video, but I'm gonna add some just a reaction to Kevin Samuels about Ayesha Curry, the wife of Steph Curry, how she really didn't appreciate him. Still, possibly what she's doing today still maybe just coming to relevant to the forefront to say, hey, I really thought I was better than you. That's how it appearing to be. But nevertheless, let's get into this. Leave a comment what you think about the opening statement to this video. I'd like to know the reaction to this video. All right, here we go. Just crazy. Wow, he's like a prop.
Condolences to the Currys. Never marry a woman who thinks she's better than you.
Hey, that's so true. Never date a woman that thinks she's better than you. That's real. That's real. And I tell any dude that I had that many times.
To get right into this. This one hits home for me because I've seen it so often. I've counseled with guys through divorce care, through Christian ministries, through breakups, through so many things. And I've seen so many guys that have actually married a woman they absolutely adore. But the woman thinks she's better than you. And ultimately, she's jealous of you. Avoid women who think they are better than you because you can never make them happy. And
Right there, I now start this. I said it's only 7 minutes. I'm gonna really articulate this as just a reaction. I can relate to this. I counsel people. I talked to brothers that was. I drove Metro bus for 9 years. I met several brothers that was getting divorced. I saw dudes that was going into marriages that I know was no good. I talked to the women that they was about to marry and knew how they thought personally. I was like, dang, dog, you ain't know this was how she thought. I actually would like have a conversation with the cat and be like, hey man, what about this? What if you met a woman like this? Da, 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 just to see their mentality, how they see the woman that they're finna marry, how they don't know that she really thinks this way, and how to respond to this person, this imaginary person. Would they date this person? Would they go out with this person? And man, you could see the expression on the man's face and how he disdained for that type of woman's personality. And I was like, dog, you about to marry that. But it wasn't on my, I wouldn't say that, don't get me wrong. But I was thinking in my head, I was like, that you haven't really dug into the woman that you're about to marry. You're just trying to get married. You just want to be married. And the facial expression of this analogy that I painted of a opposite sex of a woman, and she would behave and react this way and have this type of personality, how you had this much disdain for her, and this is a particular type of woman that you're going to marry because you haven't had a deep conversation with this woman to know how she really think. Being I'm on the outside and I have no bone, no fighting, there's no bones in the fight. You know what I mean? Uh, that the woman could talk to me openly and wasn't tripping, and we were cool. We worked together, coworkers. We all worked together, and I'm like, wow. I knew a couple guys that married ladies that drove Metro bus, and I was like, wow, you about to go into some, woo, because one of the women actually was thought she was better than the dude. Really thought she was really top. She was like she was doing something for him, looking down on him by marrying him. But he had something to offer her. So it was like a win-win situation. She kind of came with that mentality in our conversation. I was like, wow. I said, ain't the right way to get married, the right reason to get married. But like, some people get married for different reasons, and I had to learn that over the years. And hey, to each his own. Everybody's grown, as I should say. As I always saying, to each his own, and everybody's grown. But it was doomed to fail, and like I said, it failed. So without further ado, let's continue on this video. It's crazy, but this is real. There's truth in this. What's your opinion? Leave your thoughts. Subscribe down below.
Here's the thing, as your success continues to rise, their anger, their resentment, their animosity towards you will continue to rise. So outwardly, people look at you and say, she's so lucky to have this man. He's a multimillionaire, a good family man, all these other things. And all she's sitting there and saying, it should be me. I'm better than him. Especially this really runs deep, especially in women who are failed actresses and failed models. When you meet,
I would say more than that. It's an athletic women that play D1 ball, that got the spotlight. There's some of the women I dated as model women. I dated ballers. I dated all types of women, and this what he's that's the ones he describes, which is true. But I'm adding some more context to that. I would say it's also in ballers, D1 Division 1 ballers that thought they were going to WNBA or somewhere or over league, or they went and played for a couple of years, but they got knocked off, and then they come back to regular society. And back then, back in the '90s, early 2000s, uh, women weren't getting paid a lot of money in WNBA. You know what I'm trying to say? So they were like making 50, $60,000 a year. Now they're up to 70 something right now. So, but some of them getting up to 120 if they coming off as D1 as the MVP, top dog. Uh, they're coming off with 125,000, and that's nothing. But what it is the cameras. It's to being everybody applauding their jersey, their number, so they get this inflated ego, and they think they're more than what they are, but they're not knowing that's all built around the university. That's built around the NCAA women's. That's built around the WNBA. That's not built around you. You're just a product inside this whole platform, this incredible platform that you're part of, but it goes to their head and they start looking at dudes down. Like you see them on social media, they look at dudes and be like, go out in club, nightclubs. They hang in a circle. Like you have six, seven, eight girls, 6 feet tall, 5'10", up upwards of 6'6", and they're all hanging out each other in the VIP, and it's just a bunch of women. And you say, oh, that's the ball, that's the whatever, that's UW, that's USC, that's the Bruins, UCLA. I'm on the West Coast. That's some team. That's Berkeley Ballers. So you know what it is, and if you're smooth, you can snatch. If you're not smooth, then you leave it alone. A lot of guys don't leave it alone because it's a mixed group in there. I'm not gonna say one thing, but I'm gonna say, but the ego is strong. The whole point I'm making up, the ego is very fierce. It's very out there. It's in the face. It's in the forefront. So when you date a woman like this, she already had this inflated ego. It's big, and she been getting praised all around the country, all around the world. She on TV, but it's all a system. It's not hers, but she walks away from them, and her ego is so off the roof, you know. And don't let her win a championship. Now she got a ring, and don't let her go to the WNBA. Oh man, you might as well cancel this. Well, let's continue on watching this.
meet a woman who is a struggling local actress, struggling local model, attractive, but she just doesn't have that it factor. You can kick it with her, you can date her, you can hang out with her, but do not make any kind of commitment to her. And for God's sake, don't marry her or have any children. Because one, she is always going to have in her mind any kind of weight I put on, anything that happens is going to potentially hurt this non-existent career she's dreaming about, this fame that she wants, this thing that she cannot have. And especially if you're like Seth Curry and you actually attained it. He married his high school sweetheart. He was a teenage boy and she was a teenage girl. That 15-year-old boy was ecstatic to have that gorgeous girl because she actually grew into her womanness before he grew into his manness. He has finally grown into his man's body, into his man's mind, and become the man a lot of people saw in him. She's still looking at him as the same little boy who was blowing her kisses and kissing her ass as a teenager. And that's what you saw come out. That's what it is. It wasn't that she wants more attention. It wasn't that she wants more guys on her DM. She married a guy that she thinks she's better than. And honestly, she's jealous of him. She's jealous because I'm sitting at home, pumped out three kids, and he's on TV every day. He's getting all the fame. He's getting all the red carpet treatment. He's getting all this. And only time she gets attention is attention that he deflects to her. We wouldn't know about Ayesha Curry if it wasn't for Steph. He tries to put her in the spotlight. He tries to put her front and center. And guess what? If she had what it takes, she'd already be there. And that's what's not being told. If she had anything that should make her a star or put her on that level, she'd be there. Will Smith married Jada Pinkett. Jada Pinkett had a modicum of success, but she was never nowhere close to being what Will was. Look at what Will tried to do with his son. He kept trying to push his son out there, but his son isn't Will. Well, guess what? Ayesha ain't Steph. Let me tell you what I fear is going to happen. I fear this is what's going to happen. She's going to end up divorcing him. It's going to get to a point to where it is intolerable. She's already made this faux pas. She's already put it out there. It's out in the ether, and she's getting drugged by men. And people are actually looking at her like, what the hell's wrong with you? So she's going to have to pipe down. She's not going to be able to say much about anything, but it is going to tear her apart, tear him apart, because at the end of the day, she thinks she's up here and she thinks he's down here. It is not going to change. She does not view Steph Curry as the NBA All-Star world champion basketball player. She views Steph Curry as this guy that her mom and dad, her parents told her, you need to marry and secure the bag. She didn't want to be there. She would have rather been a struggling actress in Hollywood, trying to get bit parts in commercials, trying to get pickups in TV, trying to be an extra here or try to get a print commercial or something, while ended up dating whoever. Honestly, she'd have been happier that way. I know too many women like this. Trust me, I've seen this in my life. There are women like her who are above average looking. Let's be honest, she's not that fine. I mean, she's attractive, but she ain't model fine. She's pretty, but she ain't all that. She can't handle it. She's not built for it, but she thinks she is. She can't even handle the overflow traffic she gets from her husband. What the hell makes her think she can handle it in the spotlight? But the problem is she's too close to the sun. She's close enough to where she actually thinks she could do just fine. And the bad thing is she's seen too many women kind of do this kind of thing. Look what Kamora Lee Simmons did. She actually has had a reasonably successful career, but she was a model, a supermodel in somebody's eyes, but a model nonetheless. What has Ayesha Curry done? Other than being married to Steph Curry. But that's not going to change anything. This is going to nag at her, nag at them until she ends up.
Hey guys, I'm right there. I totally agree with him, and I'm talking 2 points that he's touched on. One point was, yeah, the spotlight. She's too close to the sun. And first thing is actually 3 points. First one is women that like that. I dated them, man. I did. I sit back and just left and licking in the back of my head. I'm laughing, man. I'm like, you ain't cut that way. I came from the curb. I came from the mud, guys. I built myself up. I traveled the world. I've been in the military. People don't know my background. And so if somebody really research my background and you see where I've been and things I've been through, you can see the caliber type of man I am, the experience I am. You can see my business. You see my things I close down, open up. See, the point is, people don't understand. I had business, but I closed them down. I closed them down. They didn't close me down. That's the difference. I closed them down. For purpose? I closed them down ahead of time. I always put options in the way of my businesses, so I never put myself in a major loss. Have I took loss? Yes, I've taken loss, but by taking loss early in my life, it taught me things. It taught me how to be aware, know how to pivot, adjust, prepare, look down the road, see things. So this is the experience I have in life. That taught me that in corporate America and outside of corporate America and institutions, I learned on the streets also as well. That's I'm talking about. That's the experience you got to have. I might not look like it, but you don't know my pedigree, where I'm from, what I've been through, and unless you are smooth to look up things, and then you step back and look at observe more in detail. Most people don't do that today. All the information out there, you can look up people and find out things about people. I can go get a book, look that person up, go to the internet because of the ego, what they have out there. Then I can research that. Then I can research that and find out more about this person. Just a couple moves on the internet will give you more information that people try to hide. That you can't hide. Internet got so deep, but nevertheless, people like that, it was they're so what I'm trying to say earlier. They were on platforms that was already established, and they let their ego get so big that when they got dropped from the platform, they don't realize you're no longer you was a recognized star. But understand, every June there's new stars come out that's looking to get on teams. So the team is still here. The team has been here 30 years. You played in this year, that year, and you're out of there. You're recognized for a couple of years, but then nobody ain't thinking about you. They moved on. The world has moved on. They're periodical they are yet. You're yesterday's newspaper. And that's what people don't realize. And then check this out. But people like her is always trying to believe she always above, not knowing she already won. She already run. Like he said, his parents told her, "You seized the bag." She seized the bag. She pumped out three course. She's already a multi-millionaire just with the children alone. And he gonna take care of kids because he's a good man, and you gonna take care of your kids regardless. But the point, she wants to be something. Like he said, she rather struggle and be tossed around by dudes that's gonna see she ain't all that. And like he also said, she's average. When I looked at her, I was like, not talk about the man's wife, but when I talk about the women, she's a little bit above average. I done met many women her like her, many, and I'm like, you don't have what it takes to get out there and hit the grind, hit the Hollywood mean streets, to be out there really doing casting calls, really getting out there and putting your face out, taking little bits, watching dudes trying to set you up and put you in scenes to just to get with you. All kind of things you got to navigate, and your mom and your dad ain't gonna be there. This is the world you chose. You chose a major world that's very dark and brilliant in light. But that's the word he chose. So I could tell she ain't built that way. And like he said, her jealousy is so. He said this years ago, but her jealousy is so strong that you could look and see how she look at her husband sometimes. How she look at Steph Curry's. You could catch the looks in her eyes, man. I was like, dang, he was right on. And she then made statements that also reveals her jealousy. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of cold. But that's the reality. But he broke around. If she did on her own, she'd have been struggling. And he actually gave her some pieces. He put teams together where she could do certain type of shows. I can imagine she didn't do it all by herself. I don't think, and no good man gonna let no woman do it all by herself. So he probably pulled some strings, as he said, on her back to help her out. And look what she did. Look how she pay him. Get on thing on a channel and talk about it. Talk about she need male attention and stuff like that. This is crazy. But they nevertheless, that's how she feels, and everybody has a right to their feelings. But it exposed a lot of things, and he said it years ago. So, like I said, I met women like that, man, and I get away from them. I keep cool with them, but I know it ain't nothing for me to be with. I'm like, whoever to get with them in a relationship, I wish them the best, and I learned from experience. I had my little run-ins, but hey, I tell any man that come across this situation, hide and buy high and by because until the person's learned and developed to get past that idiosyncrasy in their mind and understand this is not life. This is a part of your life. You must grow and develop past this. Do not want to you don't do not want to go through that growth and development stage with that individual because they're not ready and they're gonna drag you through a lot before they grow and you don't want to be going through that process once if you already see it. So that's the to touch on the third thing. And like he gave example, Kamora Lee. You know, she was already a supermodel when Russell Simmons got at her, and he just built her out. And he taught her, he raised her. But there's a different dynamic. He was older, and she was younger, and plus they was in a different space. Then he made kids with her, he had kids from her, going through the process. He picked her, he chose her. That's a different. That's the OG. He chose her. That's different than Steph Curry. They come from different. Well, so I got to look at them a little different. But yeah, it was a whole different level on that. So let's continue watching the rest of this. What's your opinion? What I said, what you think? Leave a comment down below. Like and subscribe to the channel.
Now there's another possible alternative. Steph could try to work behind the scenes with some Hollywood producer, friend, family, and try to throw some work her way and try to get her in Hollywood. But you know what? It'll even be worse because honestly, when she gets up on the screen and it shows that she doesn't have the chops, shows that she doesn't have that it factor, then you have to deal with the fallout of that. When you marry a woman who thinks she's better than you, when you're with somebody who is ultimately going to be jealous of you, who can't play their role, does not like the spotlight being on you, you're signing up for a life of misery. There's going to be this passive aggressive, low level contempt for you because at the end of the day, you're really not what she wanted. You're not what she wanted to do. She wanted something completely else, and she's living a life that somebody else planned for her. And even though it's probably the best thing for her, she thinks she can do better. Till the next
Reality.
time, talk at you.
Reality. That's reality. That's reality. Uh, uh,
For her,
that's guys. That's reality. I met people like this, and I went through my own experience, and I regret that I went through that because I saw it, and I still went through it for a short period. I could save some time in my life, but I learned from it, and I learned to move faster if I ever deal with it again. If I ever deal with, I say pretty face. If I'm ready to deal with a pretty face. That's it. That's all it is. Pretty. Ain't nothing else there. And so I learned to move quickly from around that type of person. This lesson, this information, just reaction is just to show you guys. Always be mindful of what you're getting into, and be aware of the people you get relate your time and energy and your quality of life to. Understand what you're getting into, male or female. It could be the man too. There's male models, there's male stars that ain't qualified, and women do the same to deal with the same situation. So it's up to you guys to get away from them too. So it doesn't matter the gender. What we're talking about from a male perspective right now. So yeah, I tell you, just get away, learn from this. I hope Aisha and Carrie and Steph Curry come together and they manage and get some support because it's bled out into social media, to society, to everybody. Everybody's saying it now. So I hope this come around and they are beautiful kids, beautiful family. I hope they address the issues and it work out for them and they can live a long, prosperous life and the kid raise beautiful kids and have a beautiful journey. I wish them the best. God bless you. See you later on tonight. Leave a comment, subscribe down below. Thank you for paying attention to this channel, this reaction video as well.